What is up, my MS Gym crew? How you guys doing? Look, I'm not in my car. How crazy is that? I have some filming to do today, so I am chilling in my studio, getting ready to film here in a little bit. So a little change of pace here, baby. So how are you guys doing? I just want to welcome you to Motivation Monday. Super glad you're here. Super happy that you've joined me today, because I feel like this message that I'm about to go through is, not only specific for like the MS Gym community, but also just necessary to really kind of navigate your way through life, navigate your way through. What's up, baby? Misty's in the house. Hi. Navigate your way through just the process of life, because let's face it, you guys, like, life is not static. Life is not linear. Life is not a point A to point B type of journey. It's like a point A to point B to, point X to point Z, back to D, over to F. Then you zoom over to 1, then you're over to G, then you're over to 7, then you're over to 10. But as long as you're moving forward and you're moving toward the goals and the things that you're setting out to do, the victories in your life and the things that you're looking for to change your life and improve your life, then you're on the right path. Because no path worth traveling that is going to, what's up, Jody? No path that is worth traveling that's actually going to yield results is ever a straight line. It's ever a straight line. The only straight line that I've seen is the one going down, the one going straight down the hill, the one going into despair, the one going into a tailspin, the one going into to catastrophe, the one going into self-defeat, self-sabotage, self-pity, and self-destruction. So here's the thing, is that I've been watching a lot of the Olympics, right? And I always get hyped up by the Olympics. I love the stories, and I love the stories of perseverance and the stories of overcoming a lot and the stories of where they're at, right? But the thing is that, like, a lot of times, like, you see those brief 30-second intros, and then, you see the people standing on a podium. You see the high fives. You see the fist pumps. You see the families hugging each other. You see the tears of victory. And, a lot of us look at that and we're just like, well, that's cool. That's good for them. Like, man, what would that be like? Man, like, they're gifted, huh? Man, look at them at 22, 23 years old, like, rocking it out. Man, like, they sure were blessed, weren't they? And you sit there in your own circumstances, especially as someone who has a neurological condition or depression or an addiction or something along those lines, and you're like, well, good for them. Like, that's cool. Like, and somewhere inside of a lot of people, they have kind of these envious feelings, or these feelings of frustration, and these feelings of like, well, that's great that they got that gift, but look what I'm sitting in. Look what happened to me. Look at my life. Look at where I'm at. And you start to kind of get into this weird, it's like this alternate reality of these Olympians that end up just doing these superhuman athletic feats. And you think that a lot of times, like, people know that they work hard and they know that it takes a lot of time and stuff like that. But if you really stop to think about it, like, there's a lot of failures that actually happen before that gold medal is won, or before you even make it to the Olympics. And the thing is that when somebody decides to set out on a path towards the Olympics, there's no guarantees that they're going to get there. Like, there's no guarantee that says, like, if I want to be an Olympic bobsledder in 4 years, that I'm going to start bobsledding tomorrow and I'm going to make it. I could get the best coach. I could get the best training facility. I could get the best gear. I could have the best whatever. But it doesn't necessarily guarantee that I'm going to make it to the Olympics. It definitely doesn't guarantee that I'm going to get a gold medal in the Olympics, because you're dealing with, like, the best of the best. So the thing is about behind every athlete, behind every Olympic athlete, are years of painful training, years of getting coached, getting yelled at, like getting corrected, getting disappointed, getting reprimanded, getting disciplined, whatever it might be. Years of financial commitment, years of sacrificing, of going out and having fun and hanging out with friends and maybe pursuing school or maybe pursuing childhood dreams or maybe pursuing something that have been given up. Massive amounts of sacrifice have been given up for these Olympians, both from on their standpoint and also their family standpoint. Like I was a competitive swimmer for like 20 years. And I mean, dude, you're getting up in the middle of winter at 4:30 in the morning to go jump in a pool with like a Speedo on. And you're like, why am I doing this? I mean, you're pushing yourself to the limit where like you're literally throwing up on the side of the pool and your coach is like, good, you're working hard enough, go again. Good, you're working hard enough, go again. You literally get out of the pool and you can't even walk and you have to literally crawl and pull yourself out of the pool. You rest for 2 minutes and then the coach is like, good, get up, do it again. There are times when you have your mindset on a certain qualifying time or a medal or a relay race or something along those lines, some kind of goal, some kind of dream, some kind of whatever that hinge on one race. And because of a momentary lapse in focus, or because you start focusing on not what you're doing, but where you're going to finish, you end up losing. You end up blowing it. You go from a first seed to a 10th seed in a heartbeat, in a split second. You can go from state champion qualified to like not even qualifying for finals. And that's happened to me. Because honestly, like I'm a head case. I have suffered so much focusing on my results and where I'm going and what I'm doing and where I got to go and what I got to be and what I have to accomplish and what destination I need to get to that I oftentimes skip worrying about the day-to-day result or day-to-day effort that it takes to move yourself towards your goal. Because here's the thing, you guys, like when I started out on the MS Gym, like I didn't know if this was going to work. I didn't know if anyone was going to listen to me. I had 0 people in my audience. I had 0 people that even knew who I was. I had 0 people who knew anything about Facebook groups and what I could do on video and my training technique and the RISE method. Like, sure, I had my local clients and they're all excited, but from a standpoint of someone who had not known me, like I had 0 people. And a lot of people that try to create businesses online end up spending thousands and thousands of dollars just to get an audience. But I'm like, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to show up every day and I'm going to deliver exercise. And I'm going to show up every day and I'm going to deliver coaching. And I'm going to show up every day and I'm going to deliver motivation and mindset training and just encouragement for these guys because I know they're not getting it. And that's what I've done for the past, whatever it is now, 10 months. I don't even know. Like we started in May, so do the math. 9, 10 months. Is I've just shown up daily and I've just been here for you guys, been here with you guys and not really worried about what we're going. Like, as you guys know, like Ken is working with us, Ken Allen, and he's business minded. Like that's kind of his jam. That's his skill set. Like I don't have that skill set. Like I'm a practitioner through and through, but Ken is really good at looking at numbers and looking at, to see what you guys need and what we need to give you guys and writing the playbook. And then he hands me the playbook and he's like, all right, man, go win. And then I look at you guys. I look at the audience. I see what you're saying. I look at where you're going and be like, okay, man, this is what we're creating. Now you go implement the strategies to get us there. You implement the strategies to help us get in front of more people so that more people can get help. But if I worried about numbers every day, if I worried about how many people were in the Facebook group and what our impressions were and what our analysis was and what our watch time was and what our, how many minutes I'm going over in a video and I need to keep it to 11 minutes because otherwise we'll lose people's attention span. Like I couldn't be me. I just couldn't be me. So I've learned, and especially with the MS Gym, is that I need to focus on my effort every single day instead of the results. Because the results will come if I'm committed to the process. And this doesn't just go for business, you guys. This goes for marriage. This goes for finances. This goes for parenting. This goes for friendship. Is that if you ignore the process of building relationships and you ignore the process of building trust and love and respect and encouragement with those around you, then how can you expect to have a thriving marriage or a thriving home or a thriving children or a thriving community or a thriving organization or just a thriving self? You got to focus on the process and stop obsessing over the promises. Because here's what I've noticed in the MS Gym, you guys, is that there's a lot of people in here that are seeing the results happen. They're seeing the promises come true. My promises that I give you saying you can retrain your brain. You can retrain your body. You can create new neuromuscular pathways. You can walk again. You can stand again. You can move your foot again. You can get out of pain. You can control your bladder. You can calm your mind down. You can walk without a cane. You can walk unassisted. People are seeing that come true. Those are the promises that I put out there. And the promises are coming true. But the frustrating part and what you don't see is that for those of you who are new that are coming in here and you're expecting to just get better in a week or you're expecting to get better in 10 days and then putting up comments saying like, well, I'm not getting better. This doesn't work. Or yeah, sure. Like, yeah, of course you're getting better. How long have you been in here? And you're like yelling at people that are sharing their victory stories. Like, that's just not cool. Because here's the thing, you guys, like you see people like Tara Richardson and Claire Wilson, and Kim Waitman, and Karen Stenhouse, Pam Woods. Like you see people, Scotty Rosenkrantz. Like you see people like this that are getting the results, but what you don't realize is that behind the scenes, I've had individual conversations with all of them. And there's been conversations of tears. That contain tears. There's been conversations that have contained frustration. There have been conversations that have been filled with fear. There have been conversations that have been filled with insecurity. There's been frustrations filled with doubt. There's been frustration or conversations filled with, well, I don't know if I can do this, man. I don't know if I can do this. And I don't have any support. My wife isn't behind me. My husband's not behind me. My kids don't really believe this. Like, my friends and my family are asking me, like, well, do you really think you should be putting this much effort in? Or do you think you're getting your hopes up a little bit? And, they've had the naysayers come at them. They've had the haters come at them. They've hated themselves. They've naysayed themselves. They've put fear and spread doubt in their own brain more than any other person on the outside of them. Their words have killed their own dreams. Their fears have delayed their own progress. Their stress levels have set off their own relapses and flare-ups. Because here's the thing, you guys, is that when you get so obsessed with the promises and the results, you lose focus on the process. You lose focus on each rep. You lose focus on finding BGB. You lose focus on what you really lose focus on is your small victories. You miss them. And when you lose focus on your small victories and you miss opportunities that your body's showing you that you're getting better, then you just end up missing it, and it seems like you're doing nothing. It seems like you're not getting better. It seems like nothing's happening. But yet, if you really look at where you were a month ago, if you really look where you were 6 weeks ago, you're having change happen all over the place. You're exercising 3 to 4 to 5 times a week when before you were doing nothing. You may not be having that foot that won't lift. And that's all you're focused on. That foot. That's all you're focused on every freaking day. I can't wiggle my toes. I can't lift my foot. I can't wiggle my toes. I can't lift my foot. Well, shoot, dude. How much longer are you standing up? How much better is your bladder control? How much better are your hands moving? How much clearer is your mindset? How long has it been since you took an afternoon nap? How many conversations have you had with your son, your daughter, or your spouse that have been more positive, and you've been more focused and you've been more present? How many times have you walked outside to enjoy the sunshine again? How many times have you woken up in the morning and you're not in god-awful pain? Those are small victories, but yet they're gigantic victories. Those are small victories that if they're missed, it can look like nothing's happening because your stupid foot that will probably be the last thing to actually move, because everything else needs to fall into place for that foot to move, that dead foot, that paralyzed leg to move. Those have to happen first. To take a body part and a structure that cannot move, that is close to paralysis or paresis or non-functional, whatever you have to say, it takes a ton of other muscle groups and a ton of other neuromuscular pathways in order to make that foot move. Because the brain has learned that foot staying put or that leg with no weight on it is the safest place to be. So that if you get the rest of your body stronger so that one weak leg does not have to take on your body weight because the rest of your body is helping out, then your brain all of a sudden has this green light to be like, shoot, man, I got a bunch of other reinforcements. I got a bunch of other players on the field. I got a bunch of other soldiers in my battalion that have my back. Maybe I can lift this. Maybe I can move this. Maybe I can wiggle this. Think about that. Think about that. Are you letting your obsession over results and your timeline and your, well, I should be here by now and I should be there by now and I see this person doing this and this person doing this and this person doing this, you're letting those destroy your path. And I'm going to give you a little bit of tough love right now. You don't know those other people's stories. They're probably working more than you. They're probably working harder than you. They're probably doing more reps than you. They've probably made it a massive priority in their life that getting their MS body better is their job. Even if they're full-time working, even if they're full-time parents, even if they're full-time homemakers and they have the job of keeping everything together at home, they have carved out, they have made it a priority and scheduled in 35 to 45 minutes a day to move and exercise and connect in with their body and ferociously and viciously and tenaciously protect that time. That is why they're ahead of you. That is why they're getting better results than you. That is why they are soaring. And it's not a comparison, and it's not to make you all feel bad. And I know everybody starts at a different place, and all of you start with different fatigue levels, and all of you start with different symptom combinations, and all of you start on different medications, and all of you start from this and this and this and this and this and this, and all of you have had people left you, and all of you have had past results and past failures, and all of you have had some kind of rejection in MS or bias or discrimination against you. All of you carry something in your invisible backpack, as Misty likes to say. But guess what? All of us have the opportunity to set that backpack down and to believe and to have blind faith that this can work. Because you know what, you guys? I am asking you to believe that this can happen when there is no evidence showing you that this can happen. I am asking you to trust me as your coach. I am asking you to follow my programs when there is no empirical evidence to show you that your efforts are going to produce anything. I am asking you to believe in your mind and believe in your heart and believe in that innate capability in your soul and your body that it can heal, because it can. But there's no proof. I cannot give you any guarantee. I cannot show you, I cannot tell you that if you do A, B, C, D, and E, it's going to elicit result X. I can't promise you that. I can't guarantee you that. But one thing I can guarantee you is that if you commit your mind to the process and you stop obsessing over the results and obsessing over the things that you think are going wrong with you, your increased pain, your increased joint stiffness, your increased fatigue, your increased just disruption in your body, unless you are having a massive relapse and a massive flare-up, and even if you are, who's to say that it's not part of the process of your body trying to figure out what the heck is going on? So like we've talked about so much, you've got to stay calm. You've got to stay present, and you've got to stay connected into the resources that you have available to you, including the relationships that you have in the MS gym. I saw a really great post the other day where someone was in the membership was struggling with Standing Strong, which is a program that I created, a 6-week program that literally teaches your body how to transition from sitting and being chair dependent to standing on your own 2 feet again. Do you know the amount of neuromuscular pathways that have to be connected in order for you to get out of a chair and stand and walk and balance? We're talking hundreds of thousands of new connections need to be made, if not millions. And this woman was struggling, and she's like, I don't want to be negative. I know this is hard. I know this is a process. And what I loved to see is so many people that have been being coached by me get in there and they'll be like, I was struggling too. I know exactly how you feel, but you know what? It's all part of the process. And you know what? I am seeing little things start to change. And you know what? I am standing a little better. And you know what? My left leg's still not working great, but my right leg is stronger. I can feel my glutes. I can feel my core. My neck doesn't hurt as much. My migraine headaches have gone away. I can type on my computer better. I can get out of my wheelie walker better. I can walk to the bathroom. I just cooked a meal. They're so focused on their small victories that the fact that their leg, the one goal that they want more than anything on the planet, is not happening. But everything else around that troublesome leg is getting better. Everything else in their life is improving. Their mindset's getting better. Their heart is becoming more positive. Their attitude is improving. Their outlook is getting brighter. Their relationships are improving. They're gaining new relationships. Their energy is better. Their strength is growing. Their endurance is boosting. And they don't feel alone anymore. So that's part of the process too, you guys. It's not always physical. It's not always exercise based. Exercise is part of this vehicle, but the mindset and the heart, those are just as important. So when your body's not working the way that it's supposed to, think about what else you've gained by being in the MS gym. Think about what other freedoms you've had. Even if it's just the freedom of hope of knowing that this can happen and it's happening to people around you that are just like you. And that maybe if you ask them a question and you're like, hey, Kim, what did you do? Hey, Claire, I know you said you struggled. How'd you get through it? Hey, Scotty, how did you get through those rough days, bro? Hey, Roger, how do you keep your attitude up? Hey, Tara, how did you keep your belief up over 46 years that you were going to walk again? So that's what I want you guys to think about today, whether it's in your personal relationships, your marriage, your finances, your parenting, your MS journey, whatever the heck it may be. You've got to focus on the daily effort to move yourself forward, to improve how you do things, to make mistakes and learn from those mistakes, to choose your words better, to choose your thoughts better, to take captive those lies that are being told to you, to take captive those fears that are being fed into your brain and reject them. To take captive those doubts that research says that you can't create new neurological pathways, and you're like, I'm seeing it happen all over the place. To take a marriage that's struggling and realize that, you know what? This is all cause and effect. We're here because A, B, C, D, and E got us here. One of the, like maybe C is MS. Maybe B is finances. Maybe C is we didn't get to talk that much. Maybe D is we're having quality time stolen, but it all adds up to we don't have the marriage that we want, but we want something different. We don't have the job that we want, but we want something different. We don't have the body working the way that we want, but we want something different. So you have to sit and take the time to be like, what can I do on a daily basis over the next 2 to 3 weeks to move myself forward and to create positive momentum and positive change toward my desired outcome? And it's not going to be easy. You're going to have to fight the lies. You're going to have to fight your past. You're going to have to fight your history. You're going to have to fight the law of comparison. You're going to have to fight the law of rejection. You're going to have to fight the law of the expert opinion. You're going to have to fight the law of the naysayers. You're going to have to fight the law of the dream killers. And you're going to have to fight that temptation to go into a negative place when it's not happening and pull yourself back out of that and say, you know what, dude, you're better than this. You know what, dude? You got this. You know what, dude? Like, think about where I've come from and what I'm doing now. Like, I'm still moving forward. It may not be at the pace that I think I should be. I may not have the results I think I should have right now, but I have made some results. I have gotten small victories, and I'm going to focus on those because those small victories add up to one medium-sized victory, and those medium-sized victories add up to one large victory, and that one large victory with a bunch of small victories on top lead to that next large victory, and that is what I'm focusing my brain on, my heart on, my body on, and my entire life on, my life vision on. So I need you guys to trust me on this. Focus on the effort and let go of the result. Embrace the process of change, that it will not be easy and it will not be linear and there will be ups and downs. But if you keep persevering, you will find those promises that we talk about. You will get some of the results that you want. You will move your body and your mind and your brain and your life in a direction that you're designing. Instead of letting yourself be tossed to and fro by the circumstantial evidence, the false realities, and the recommendations from people who don't even know you, telling you that you can't get to where you want to go. So I just want to let you guys know that MS is not just a one-sided thing. You guys have life to live. MS is an obstacle that you have. MS is a challenge that you have, but you have a bunch of other life things that are happening along with it. And there is no perfect technique to balance life. There is no perfect technique to manage your world. There is no perfect technique to fix your relationships or fix your body or fix your finances or fix whatever it might be. But there is one truth. And that truth is daily persistence will yield progress. Daily perseverance will yield change. And if you learn and if you seek to learn from your mistakes and then you make a mistake, you fail, but you fail forward and you fail toward that next victory and you fail up that next hill and up towards that next summit, you can't go down. It's the law of momentum. It's the law of inertia. A body in motion will stay in motion, going to that same direction until something of greater force changes that direction. So if you are the force and you determine the force and you can increase the intensity of the force in which you push back against the MS attacks, the MS flare-ups, and the MS lies, then you can move that forward. You can move yourself forward. You can climb up that hill and you can keep going. So I'm proud of every single one of you. Like in the spirit of the Olympics, like you all are my athletes. I am your coach. You are an MS athlete. You may not be training for figure skating or alpine skiing or bobsledding or curling or whatever the heck it might be, but guess what? You're training for life. You're training for freedom. You're training for a life by design and not by diagnosis, and you are training to live a life where you can be a spouse again, and you can be a parent again, and you can be a volunteer again, and you can drive a car again, and you can walk your dog again, hike a mountain again, and go back to work again. You're a volunteer again. You can live out your dreams again. You can speak again. You can tell stories again. You are an athlete for life. You are an athlete of daily living, and your challenge and your resistance is the fact that your body doesn't work like it's the way that it's supposed to. And I thank you guys for trusting me as your coach. I thank you for supporting me as your coach and putting your faith in me, but I got to put it back on you. Like, I respect the hell out of you for trusting in yourself and for taking that step forward. And even though you are scared to death, frustrated, just scared, frustrated, like angry, bitter, whatever it might be, that you don't stop. And even if you do stop for a couple weeks or a month just because you're like, dude, I need a break, like I just need to get this out or whatever, you come back. That's called courage. And in order to be an athlete, you need to be courageous. In order to be an athlete, you need to expect setbacks. In order to be an athlete, you need to rise above those circumstances that tell you this is never going to happen and persevere past those defeats that happen when you're giving it your all-out effort and nothing is happening. But you keep going anyway because you have a dream and you have a goal and you have a purpose and you have a why. So I encourage you guys all today, like, find that dream, find that vision, find that why. Write it up somewhere, put it on a piece of paper, look at it daily, and just know that even when you're down and your body's not working right, there's always something you can do. When you're negative and you're frustrated and you don't feel like you have anything to give, there's always someone that needs help that you can help out. And when you don't think that this is going to happen and you don't think that you can get through this, and there's nobody else in the entire MS community that's never gone through this, I bet you a dime to a dollar that you post up your struggle in the MS gym and you will have at least 5, if not 25 people jump in, love on you, encourage you, and be with you, which is one of the greatest gifts that you could ever get from this community. So I just want to encourage you guys, you're on the right path. You're doing the right things. If you're a little painful and you're a little stiff and you're a little sore, it's only because your body is using things that it hasn't used in years. If these exercises are difficult and you're having to repeat things 2 or 3 or 4 times, look for the small improvements, because the more you practice, the faster your brain learns. That's normal. And if you're getting frustrated and you feel tired and you feel like, man, I'm just like, am I doing enough? Am I doing this? Like, why am I so tired? It's because you're working. Your body is working to do things it's never done, and that process is necessary in order to elicit change. So you got this. Find your focus. Find your calmness, find your presence, to find your connectedness, and focus on the process and let go of the results and chase down those promises. But realize they're not going to be handed to you. You can't just show up here for a week and expect 10 years of foot drop to go away. You can't show up here for even 3 weeks and expect your body that has been sitting in a chair for 10 years to get up and take steps, walk 20 steps unassisted. It's not, it can happen, but it's not healthy for you to set that expectation upon yourself. So I would get rid of expectations. I would get rid of obsessions. And I would really focus on just putting in the effort and ignoring the results and just daily show up. Commit to the exercise. Commit to your mindset. Commit to your heart. And I promise you that you'll look back in a week, a month, 6 months to a year and be like, how did I even get here, man? How did I even get here? And then you look around again and you're like, you know what's cool? I didn't get here alone. And I'm not alone anymore. Look how many people are with me, celebrating with me. That's the powerful part about the MS Gym. That's the powerful part about this community, is that we have movement, we have mindset, we have education, and above all, we have family here. So I love you guys to pieces. Thank you for listening to me today. Thank you for listening to this message, because I literally think it's something that can set you free and have you escape the lie and the obsession and the damage that expectations and obsession over results can do to you. So you guys are awesome. I love you. Have a fantastic day. And if you need to watch this over and over again or once a week, do it, because do not let yourself get sucked into the swamp, and do not let MS overtake you with lies and frustrations when the things that you think should be happening aren't happening yet. Focus on the small victories. Lean on your friends and relationships in this community. And please, 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 I'm here to coach you, and know that. And that if you're ready to take the next step and you're ready to just say, I'm all in, let's do this, I'm here to get you there. That is my purpose. That is my calling. That is why I'm here. And I'm focused every day on delivering you results daily, post by post, message by message, comment by comment. That is my focus, and that is why I'm here. I love you guys. Have an awesome day, and I'll see you soon. Bye.